Let your imagination soar with Audible. With stories across every genre, from expert advice to fantasy, you'll be inspired to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. Listening can even lead to a positive change in your mood, habits, and overall well-being. As an Audible member, you'll get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog, including bestsellers and new releases. Allow yourself to delve into the spooky this season by listening to classics like Stephen King's The Shining and Pet Sematary. There's more to imagine when you listen. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text imagine to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text imagine to 500-500.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Let's chat. It's hard. You want to talk? I know, that's disappointing. Sit back. Let's work this out. How's it going? What are we doing here? Where are you going? Hey there. Wow. It's not always easy. It's amazing if you think about it. Let's think about this. Strange. I have some thoughts about that. Life is hard. Trauma bonded.
Hey T, I was thinking that we could start our own religion. Just like the Mormon cult religion, and except like we'll just do the same. Well, it's a lot of different, but like women are in charge. So like only women can hold positions of power. Only women can be like leaders in the church. Only women get to like call all the shots and make all the rules. You know,
I love it. It's brilliant.
You think it's good?
Yeah.
Yes. So
and we're in charge.
Yeah, we're totally in charge.
That's the best part.
Okay, well, let's write this down.
The rules.
We have the rules. We allow men in it, right? Men are allowed in the church. Yeah,
of course.
Okay, and then we could do like
we're in charge.
Yeah, the women are in charge.
It's the opposite of what they were doing before.
Yeah, but then what do we do with the men? Don't we have to make them our husbands? Like we could have many, many husbands, like they did have many, many wives. We'll have many, many husbands.
Okay, so they'd have many, many husbands.
Who's they?
The men.
Is that a person?
The men would have many, many husbands. And then the women would have many, many wives.
Okay, we got to figure out how we're going to populate the earth with believers, though. If all the men are with some men and all the women, I'm not going to be with a woman, but I'll just be the leader, like the figurehead.
Yeah, and it would be your genetics that would go through.
No.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
That's a bad idea.
Let's not do that.
Welcome to Trauma Bonded. I'm Elly Westberg here with Therese Garcia.
Hello.
Literally in person together.
We just ate cheese together.
We just had cheese together.
That's a new break bread, right? Eat cheese, share cheese.
Yeah, and we had bread too.
We did.
Your wife broke it for us, though.
Yeah.
We're discussing episode 336 of the podcast. This is actually happening. What if you escaped a polygamous cult? And a brief, Pamela, our storyteller, is raised in the Mormon faith, cult. And there's a whole lot of history here with who started which brand of the cult when, but basically Pamela ends up married at 15 and starts having babies. Her husband takes on more wives, and those wives beget more children, and basically Pamela ends up taking care of the lot. Over time, she starts to realize the logic of this church isn't one she aligns with, and she deigns to escape internationally with her 9 children in tow. Spoiler alert, she does escape, and it's brilliant, and she flees the cult from Mexico to America, and here in America, she truly becomes the American dream. She lives a shining example of determination and hard work, and her successful children are a testament to her beautiful legacy. And full disclosure, I'm a show and happening, and T knows nothing about anything. She comes
I come in
fresh.
fresh.
This show, Trauma/Bonded, is for the listeners, a space where we can talk about each episode, digest it, and reflect on it with empathy and also a bit of levity. That's Trauma Bonded. T, what stuck out to you is the heart of Pamela's story.
I went with one word for the heart today, and that word is command.
Okay, girl, go.
For me, command, it represents both external and internal power. Like you can command a room, or you have within yourself, the power within yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I think the power, the command, I was also thinking about commandments, but I don't know. That fits too, right?
Fits, yeah.
Thinking about the command of the religion or cult, right? Had over its followers with, making everybody have all the marriages and killing everybody.
Yeah.
And they're all cool with it, right? That's some freaking command.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got control.
Control.
Right? That's where, that was my stomach. That's the control, right? The oppression, right? And that's that command that's like, it's a bit dirty. Maybe also think of, with great power comes great responsibility. And then I'm thinking about our storyteller's command for internal strength, right?
Yeah.
And like using that power for good.
Yeah.
Right? And then she turns it into, leading her family and herself to safety and then eventually to success. And what I like from your synopsis, beautiful legacy.
Yeah.
I love that.
And she probably buys command strips to hang art in her home.
And that's really it, isn't it?
And that's the derivation of the branding of that product.
I think you're right.
Yeah. You command when you hang up this picture, and you command how it comes back off the wall.
Now strip.
Yep. It all goes together.
Right?
Good.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that blew my mind.
Just blew my own mind. It was good.
Yeah. Thank you. What was your heart, Elly?
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to get a little riled up here. Okay. I've been riled up since about my first listen, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I was walking around my neighborhood listening to it, and I literally was like fist pumping the sky.
Yeah.
And cheering her on.
Yep.
Different things that she spoke just resonated so deeply with me. The biggest hearts or the biggest takeaway for me are there are two things that mean freedom and independence for a woman. Reproductive control and literacy. I'm not trying to get political here.
Every time.
You know me.
Says this every time.
But if you want to control and subjugate women, you take away their birth control and you keep them fucking dumb.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. It's a simple playbook. It's been done since the beginning of time.
For our cult, that's what we should do to the husbands.
Ooh,
give them birth control and keep them dumb. I don't know. This isn't translating as well, but we'll get there, I think.
I thought we agreed not to do the cult after all.
I forgot.
It's hard to let go of your dream.
Yeah.
There are people today in this world who want to destroy your reproductive freedom and make ways to enforce birthing babies. There are people today who want to destroy books and want to destroy free public education.
Yes.
And make sure that you don't think for yourself and that you must lean on others with knowledge. And it seems very basic, yet insidious, because it is. If you women out there want to fight for your agency and bodily autonomy, it begins and ends with your reproductive freedom. Whether you know it or not, whatever stage of that you're in, eventually I think that you will get that. If you women want to fight for your agency and your power to make advancements in your life, it begins and it ends with literacy and a free exchange of thought and critical thinking. And reading goes hand in hand with critical thinking. The biggest foes are in your face and they're not quiet about it. When they come for your health care, and they come for your mind, They are coming to eradicate your freedom, control you, subjugate you, and put their foot on your neck to make sure that you stay in your place. When people come for this shit, listen, this is what they mean to take from you. Everything. Yes, I did write this down. It is no mistake that Pamela's first act in her journey of escape is to do what? She decides in her heart she's going to escape. She goes to Nevada to farm some pine nuts. And what does she get when she's there? She gets birth control.
Oh, yeah.
There isn't it's like pine nuts. I don't remember this.
Pine nut.
It's no mistake that that's the first act in her journey to escape. It's no mistake that when Pamela does escape, her way out of poverty and her way toward healing is to read books, and not the Bible and not the Book of Mormon, but books from people of the world that might have a point of view that challenges her and might teach her.
What really got her started in all this was her thinking back, questioning.
Yeah.
Right? Using that brain. They get you with 9 kids, so you're busy, but you're just in reaction mode, right?
Yeah.
And you can't be like, wait a minute. Remember when they said that? That doesn't match up with this. That's really hypocritical.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then it got her like, I'm going to think more about this. And every now whenever anything happens, I'll know.
Yeah.
And see that it's wrong.
You know, to think of her being able to really just rely on her memory of what she's learned from the Bible, because she isn't literate and she probably doesn't have a book in her house outside of the Bible and she can't read it. She just is remembering church services where they're telling her about who God is and what the logic of God is and what happened in the New Testament and all the stuff. And it's like, it's all that shit that she's relying on, that she's putting it all together about how the fallacy, the flawed logic of man is failing people, and it's not the logic of God. This is what happened. I've said this since I went on my own journey to escape this barbarism we call Christianity. As soon as you start questioning things, as soon as you pluck up that plant and look at it and realize it's a weed and toss it out, you've begun your journey. There's no turning back now. Yeah. It's just that first one.
Yeah.
You have to have the courage to do the first one. And I remember distinctly hearing things when I was a teenager, starting to be more critical in my thinking, and hearing things that did not align with me and my intuition, but also didn't align with the teachings I'd heard in a church setting. And I remember going, no, Elly, you can't think about it. Because if I know, I had to actually
bury it.
I had to stop myself from thinking about it because I didn't want to see where it go. And it took years of just drudging up the bravery and the courage to finally start to allow myself to do it. And that's exactly what she did. And I guarantee you, if you do it in your own life, I'm not saying you're gonna be an atheist. I'm not an atheist. He's not an atheist. We're not like advocating for atheism here. We're simply saying that it's possible that the church, the dogma that you've been sold is full of lies because it's written by men. That's it. And then we don't mean men like men.
We got to write one. That's what we got to do. Just write one.
Write our own Bible.
I feel like if we just write one, you know what we should do? We should write it. You probably write it. And I put in like some of the jokes in there. And then we bury it, right?
Oh, then someone digs it out.
And then someone digs it out.
Years and they're like,
well, let's pretend we wrote it 100 years ago.
Oh, we dig it up.
Oh, we can dig it up.
What is this?
Just T and Elly are in charge.
Oh, well, I guess we are.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
This is the responsibility. This is the revelation.
Yeah, well, I guess.
It says it right here.
Sorry.
Is that he's ready to? No. This was here 100 years ago. Am I 100? No. Good heart.
It's a good episode, right?
Yeah, there's a lot there.
There's a lot of history at the beginning. We can talk about as much or a little as you'd like.
Yeah. We could just go to highlights, you know?
Okay. Okay. And seriously,
Yeah.
y'all, if you had trouble kind of keeping up with that history, there is a more like sort of abridged summary of the history in the show notes for this is actually happening if you look there. So basically, after Joseph Smith died, they got rid of plural marriage. So when he was on Earth, they're all like, "Oh, Joseph, you're brilliant. We love plural marriage." And then he died, and they're like, "All right, everyone, let's go back to being normal." But there are still polygamists left in America, and I guess they went to Mexico, and they were called Polig Kids.
Yeah.
I guess that's short for polygamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pamela talks about how her father wanted a girlfriend, but no one wanted him. So guess what Grandpa's solution was to that?
I think what you're referring to is get them in the motherly way.
Yes. Grandpa says knock them up.
Smart.
If you don't think your freedom is directly linked to your reproductive parts, you're wrong. You're dead
And they
wrong.
know it too.
And they know it too.
And they'll use it.
Daddy, I want a girlfriend. Get her pregnant.
Yeah.
Fuck. So anyways, her father eventually marries Velma. She has 5 kids. She dries up. He also had promised that he wouldn't engage in plural marriage.
I mean, he even wrote it.
Yeah,
Right.
he wrote
There's
it
a
down.
contract.
Yeah.
But no.
Fuck that. And she just assumed he's a polygamist at heart. Let him be who he's gonna be. Pamela does refer to the LeBarons, and I know that they are a prominent family in the history of the Mormon Church. So they went to Mexico basically to do what they wanted. Like the reason America was built is because people in England wouldn't let us like burn people at the stake. So
Right.
they come to America
Let's
to
get
do it here.
crazy in Mexico.
Yeah, so they leave America to go to Mexico to do what they want. And it's great because they have this built-in, they can like come and proselytize to like the excommunicated Mormons. Basically
yeah.
like, hey, remember how you liked fucking all those wives? You can do that down in Mexico.
You can still do it.
We started something new.
No worries.
Yeah. So they get members to go down there and they're basically preying on the rejected. And you know how people are when they're rejected. They're feeling rejected and vulnerable. And Desperate, yeah. Her dad at 36, finds a second wife, Lorraine.
Oh, this is sick.
Knocks her up at 14. She's pregnant and married.
Awful.
And then he meets her mom, Pamela Vera. Yeah.
What's the storyteller's name?
Pamela Jones.
So she's named after her mom?
I'm guessing that's
I just didn't.
happening.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the first time I thought I noticed that.
I love how the storyteller, she like comes alive when she mentions her mom's name.
She's really good at the announcing.
Yeah.
Mom's name. Yeah, it's very
You can
powerful.
tell she adores her.
Yeah.
You can sense the smile on her face when she says her name.
It's like how you announce like royalty.
Yeah.
You're like Pamela Vera Hansen, 6 of 13 children. You know, the way that she did it. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's like got such adoration for her mother.
Yeah.
Her mom visits Mexico and becomes her father's 3rd wife. And our storyteller, Pamela, is a 6-year-old. She's parentified.
Oh my God.
Her mother is kind of left to fend for herself and the kids. I mean, this is like extreme poverty here. They're poor. They're impoverished. There's abuse.
I thought, you know, when she said her mom needed to go work or something, you got to take care of the kids. I thought her mom was just going to leave. I thought that was what happened right there.
Oh, and then she's a 6-year-old taking care of.
Well, I don't know, you know, what would happen after that.
Can you imagine? How old is Arlo?
He's 7. That's what I was thinking. Like a 6-year-old taking care of a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a 3-month baby.
The fuck?
I mean, I can't do that. How could a 6-year-old?
No one can. No one can. I'm sure it wasn't good. What?
Why is Dad coming home and whipping him?
Because he can. And it's herbal, not herbal.
I wrote down herbal. There it is, herbal. Find herbal.
So these fuckers, Herbal and his wife, his brothers, there's like a separation in them. Like Herbal is the firstborn, so of course he has this church called the Church of the Firstborn, which is what is slapping it? It's such a firstborn thing to do.
You're
like,
firstborn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Such a fun
guys.
too. Like, hey guys, I'm starting a church. It's Church of the Firstborn.
Yeah, but then the other ones do like Church of the Firstborn, Lamb of God. Why can't it be Church of the Secondborn? No?
Well, they're like, well, fuck you, Herbal. So they like, there's splits, but Herbal is the one who's like, is into the blood atonement.
Ervil just pissed. His name's Ervil.
He's got chips on his firstborn shoulders, but he comes up with this blood atonement, which just sounds like a churchy way to murder people.
Yeah, if you're like mad at them, if they like looked at you weird, you're like, you know what? I just had this dream.
Because did you understand that he's killing people, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to cut you and watch you bleed to atone. I'm killing you and watching your blood spill.
No, and that's the way they get to heaven.
It's like
so
you
much.
sinned. I don't even know if so much. It's like you sinned. Maybe
Yeah.
you sinned once.
That was it. And then
And yeah, you got to see the blood spill.
it's got to hit the ground.
Yeah.
If it hits shoes or something,
You got to do it again.
you're still going to hell. So we better like stab you again.
I mean, this shit is culty as fuck because even if you think about modern day Christianity, I'm not going to get too into specifics.
Every time you do this, every time you say, not to get political, then you get hardcore political. Not to get into the whole, and then you get hardcore into it.
Well, just a little bit about the blood sacrifice of Christ. That's all I'm going to say, just a little bit.
Okay,
And then I'll move on.
love it.
In a nutshell, Jesus Christ was brought to the earth to fulfill the laws of the Old Testament, which is why we find him in the New Testament. And the New Testament message is that Jesus Christ is the ultimate sacrificial lamb, and that when he dies, when he's crucified on the cross and his blood is let, that blood figuratively is meant to cleanse the world of sin, right? It's called a blood covering, meaning that when
It's
God,
very
yeah,
visual
Murdering.
and murdering.
when God looks down on his people, his sinning people, he can't see individual sins. He only sees the blood.
Oh,
So the whole point of salvation from a Christian point of view, from the modern idea of the New Testament, is that Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice. And because he sacrificed, we don't have to. If we accept his sacrifice, then we are saved. And that's what gets us to heaven. That's the whole thing behind that, right? So when herbal comes
it's
along,
ridiculous.
it's absurd.
okay.
But let's say, for funsies, let's say we all believe that and we
Okay.
accept that that's true.
No, I think I believed that at one point.
Or
You know,
at the best,
or
let's
something
say-
scared me. There were a lot of blood and guts.
as long as you
And I got
believe it,
scared.
just believe it wholly. But this shit the Herbals doing is anti that entire message of the
Yeah.
New Testament. And the fact that he could just waltz into a place and be like, okay, guys, this is
Now
what
we're
we're
gonna,
doing.
yeah.
Basically rejecting the sacrifice that Jesus gave. Like, Jesus is like the
Now
ultimate,
everybody
like,
else is doing it, kind of.
like he basically is taking away the power
Yeah.
of that sacrifice of Jesus and saying
It's
that now
insulting.
it's
us
insult. We should all be
Christians.
insulted.
Yeah.
If you truly believe the New Testament, you should think of this as treasonous,
Right?
Or
Blasphemous.
blasphemous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this just goes to show how much this shit was just made up on the
make
spot.
believe. Just make believe.
Just made
Yeah.
up by power hungry men looking
He's like,
for a place.
I'm
in the
going
world.
to take your tithings. I'm going to take your wives.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to take your lives.
Yeah. Just so you go to heaven.
It's like little by little. And people accept it. It's like little by little. And then now everyone's slicing necks open.
And it instills this fear in Pamela, right? And this is
Yeah.
exactly what it's used for. That is what, like, Ervil was mad that Jesus did the ultimate sacrifice on the cross. He's like, but it's a really powerful image and I want to use it in my
Yeah.
congregation. By God, I'm going to do it. And so he gets to cut people's throats in front of loads of people, scares little kids into following his ways. And now you're building generation of tithers and wives and children, and it's all to further their stupid fucking culty capitalist nightmares.
Yeah, and it's unclear what it all kind of means, and the logic isn't fully there, I feel like. You're not reading, you're not literate, you're not questioning, you're just scared. And you're like, I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to do because something weird's going on.
And there's this idea that these men are prophets because they basically said they are, right? Or that they're descended from like other prophets. That's the power of what's the word when people hire their kin?
Oh, nepotism?
Nepotism. Nepotism is...
I'm loving this game we're doing right now.
It's full on in the church. Yeah. Full on.
It's big. Nepotism. It's powerful stuff.
And there's all these talks of like, who's a prophet? And as far as I understand, the only people saying who the prophets are the people calling them their own selves prophets.
It's me.
I'm a prophet.
It's me.
No, we're not a prophet. No, I'm
all right. I'm going to do my own church then.
Oh, what? You're a prophet?
I'm going to be a church of the only.
God told me that I'm a
church of the only.
You're
church of the firstborn.
Yeah,
there's tons of you. I'm church of the only born.
No one's going to go to church because it's a false church.
Yours is.
Yeah, that's literally what they do. No, yours is. No, yours is.
Our own followers.
No, mine. No, I am. No, you are.
No, but it's me, not you.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Well, God told me.
No, I literally had the revelation last night. Literally.
And I get it for the men that are in power. Like, yeah, this is great for you.
I feel like this is crazy though.
Believe they're believing this shit. Yeah. What makes me the most sad about these people? Like, I get it. The wives, they do what the wives do, and the men in power, they're like, yeah, I'm men in power. What makes me the most sad to think about are these loser men that aren't in power.
Yeah.
And just like let their wives get taken and let their kids get taken into child bridism and all this stuff. And they're just like, I'm just a believer. I'm just like Joe Schmo.
They have a little bit of power because they go and try to get more people to believe.
Yeah, but they ain't got profit power.
And they don't have any money. They're all poor.
And they never know, like, if their wife's going to be taken or their daughter's going to be taken by some guy that calls himself a prophet.
How can you
fucking leave? What are you doing?
It's like you're a 13, 14-year-old kid. Like, are you just okay with it? You're like really brainwashed, or you just don't have any feelings?
I have to believe that it's generational brainwashing. Which is what makes me so upset when people come to this shit as full-blown adults.
They just come in like, oh, okay, sure. What's going on?
I was in prison.
What's his party?
News. And then I'm showing up at church. Like, what?
Yeah.
You were fully formed adult? And you're believing that shit?
They almost got me from birth. That's how you got to get it.
You got to get them from birth. Anyways, we could belabor that
all day.
Indefinitely.
Hey, Prime members. Have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news. With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free-podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free-podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Credit Karma is your evolved financial assistant, making managing your finances simpler and more tailored to you. Join us at creditkarma.com to start your personalized financial journey today and continue to grow with our innovations. Credit Karma. Evolve your finances.
So Pamela is told that she can date at 13. She meets Andre, who's 23. Ooh. Hubba hubba. Like, what a sick. Disgusting. Dad says too old. And her response is, my sister was married at 14.
Like, why can't I?
But she notes that it wasn't like she really wanted to be married to Andre. I think to her, this was just a way of escape. Like, right now, I'm just a child in my mother and my father's household. If I get married, I get to leave and run my own household.
She's getting beat.
Yeah. And she just wants to be free and do shit her own way.
Yeah.
She's not thinking it through like, I'm leaving one cage to enter a new one.
Yeah.
As me, who I am at a certain age now, I know, I have the wisdom to know that sometimes the hell you know is better than the one you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Totally.
But at 14-year-old girls,
like, let's just go.
they got nothing.
Yeah.
They have no sense of anything. They're just like,
Do you think you'd join a religion right now if it was like really great?
no, I will start a
What if
religion.
it, like,
Right.
you didn't even know that it was like a religion? You just were like hanging out with some cool folks for a long time. It seemed really cool.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, by the way, Elly,
They're not saying we're a cult, but like all of a sudden there's like weird stuff. I'm like, oh,
like, what
okay.
weird stuff.
I don't know. Oh, you know, can you like contribute like $5 to this? We're just buying this thing.
Buying what
So you
thing?
can like hang and do this thing.
Like rituals, or what do we do?
No, that's not. We're not naming them things. Like, but like you're, and there's just like
idiot.
really,
Do you think I am?
I don't know. And there's like this, everyone's hot, you know, or something.
And they want to hang out with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say something's up.
Why you guys want to hang on me?
No, actually, it's funny because I've come out on the other side, I now look at almost everything as religion. And so I'm like, I've got my arm out to everything that even whiffs.
What if I was
Of a
like,
dogma.
what if I long gamed it? And we were like, and you didn't even know, but I was like, what is it, 20 years? And finally,
Basically, lesbianism a cult?
no, what is that? A lesbian? Is that
What could it be?
I
Like,
don't know. I'm just saying, like,
because you don't have to subscribe to anything else.
I know, but you know, what if it was all these people? You're all friends with all of us, Nate, Whit, whatever. We're actually in like a cult.
A cult of friendship?
I don't know.
What are you
I
talking
don't know.
about?
Just want to hang out easily, be
Does it
brainwashed.
sound like I would be at this point?
It seems hard.
Okay. What about you?
That's probably easy.
I am trusting.
Me too.
But I'm not a joiner. If someone was like, hey, we're doing this thing, I'd be like, no.
No, you do stuff for the story now.
I don't do stuff for the story anymore. I'm through that
No?
phase now. I'm over the story. Stories have storied. I've got enough stories.
Yeah.
Good. Now I just want to sit in my house and
Watch Survivor and be done with it.
wait for sweet, sweet death.
Well, right there.
So she marries at 15 with the caveat that David agrees to raise her as well. Can you imagine being an adult man and told, well, you can have this child bride, but you're going to have to finish raising her? Okay. Disgusting.
15 and 21, though, is better than 36 and 14.
Oh, it's better. Is that all we're striving for now is better? 15 is way different than 21.
Yeah.
21 ain't that different
Yeah.
from 27. Although you could make the argument that it is
Well,
because
it's
your
a-
brain's not fully finished. 25
it's
and
a-
31, better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pamela's so excited. She gets married. And then, like, a week later, this fucking guy.
Should have had a contract.
And he's like, I'm dating, babe.
Oh,
So-
okay.
And she makes this point. She says, and this rings so true from my experience in Christianity as well. A lot of times you're just around beliefs and no one's directly explaining or teaching it to you. You're just supposed to like pick up stuff. Like she talks about, no one taught her plural marriage, but she just knew that it was that the girls, the women that she was around, just knew that was going to be something they were going to have to deal with. Ugh. But no one's just teaching them, like, I don't know, the sociology of how you might better make these relationships healthy or something. It's more just like, he's going to put it in all of you, deal with it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Oh, no, they're not even talking to the girls.
No,
As is your right, young man, the man of God.
it was a LeBaron.
He was a LeBaron. So the day they put a baby in her arms,
Yes.
she feels unconditional
Ah.
love.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole idea
Which part of it? The baby in
that
your
that a mother finds unconditional love from having a baby? Do you have thoughts and feelings about that? Check your little notes. Is it in your little notes?
It's not right now. I did have many thoughts and feelings about that, though.
Tell me.
I mean,
Tell all of
it's
us.
kind of true. They're fully dependent on you. That's the thing. When their little babies are fully dependent on you, and you fully love them and care for them, they'll have love for you unconditionally.
I have funny feelings around people saying stuff like that.
I know what you're saying.
It's not a reason to have children.
Of course
to
not.
have something to love.
Of
you.
course not, but that's not why she had children.
I know. Well, it doesn't sound like she had much choice in having children. It was put in her.
It's just something that she felt when she had.
I get it. And I get it.
And it's the first time she felt it.
And I get it. She means it more her love to the child, but also she does acknowledge that there's this reciprocity that exists. And really, it is true. Once you do have a child, and you know this more than I do, it's almost as like, oh, you've just produced this person that will always be in your life, and there's probably some comfort in that.
That they might love you, but you're also the reason they'll be going to therapy for.
Yeah, some boomers don't have relationships with their kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
A lot. David added more wives. She said the second wife made it easy, but the third wife was a bit of a psycho. He starts to squeeze the control reins more on them, making them be plain and no makeup and no fancy hair. And she just has her head down. She knows that she's meant to be this helpmate to him while he endures. And there's no reading or writing, just cooking and cleaning and having children. And that's her life. And she does this for many years, and she's very good at it. Girl's an achiever.
She is.
So David starts a new church called Zion Camp. And what she says in this moment is that, because I've been through many church splits, and in all of my church splits, it was never like, we're now the church of the chosen and you're not. It was more just like, you can come here, you can go there. Where it sounds like in this world, once a new church has begun, that's the top church and everyone else sucks now. So you might have been on the in, now you're on the out. And so she's like in this chosen one because they're the newest church.
But then not mom and dad.
Right. It's
some
adults
random
walking
dude
around going, we're staying, you're not. It's just so stupid. I just can't get over it.
Just because some dude decided to make another church because he wanted more power, now you have to think your mom and dad are evil. Doesn't make any sense.
And this is the first time she mentions that she has questions. And the one thing the church hates is when you have questions.
Trust. Don't worry. Trust in God.
Give it all to God. Trust in God. No one can know the logic of God. No one can know the secrets of God. And she says, how are we of all the world the chosen? And goddamn motherfucking right, that is the first thing to ask. Good on ya.
That's weird. We just split. We were like really good friends. Like we were pretty cool.
We had dinner last week with the Joneses, and they were chosen then. Now they're not chosen because they didn't go.
Oh, we are? Okay. Oh, good. Good thing I'm chosen. And then people are like, oh, good. Because they're
yeah. There's such a fear of hell.
But the Joneses are like, oh, we're chosen, so we're good.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're good.
Who's the chosen?
Me. No. Not you. You're going to hell.
So this is that chiseling away at the dogma, the picking up and examining a chip.
If we start
throwing it out.
If we start a cult, let's not split the church.
Yeah, but we'll make someone like head of the children's ministry before you know.
No, we can totally have, what do you call them? Well, you have like a store and you expand the store and have different.
Franchisees.
Yeah, we can have franchisees.
Okay, let's talk about it offline.
I'm just saying.
I like where you're going.
Let's not
give our shit away. So she starts the questioning, and before too long, it's going to all come crashing down. And Pam ends up being pregnant 16 times. Mm-hmm. She has 9 children. She desperately wants to go to heaven, as do we all. but she just doesn't know how to escape this life. Bring in the cartel.
Yeah, there's a cartel now. That sucks.
Little dirt road where you built your church now has become busy road for cartels
around here. What are they doing? Wow, it's a lot of traffic. You notice that?
And her brother's murdered. Her brother-in-law's murdered. And they lived in fear of the cartel. And here's another question she has that she shouldn't be asking.
Why is God letting them die?
Why would God let the chosen people die?
Yeah, they're chosen.
These are the questions that will bebop you right
asking. Don't stop asking them.
But she keeps talking herself into staying. She keeps questioning herself. Are you doing everything that you can do to get into heaven? She's taking care of 30 fucking children.
Oh, shit.
And his wives adored her because she got shit done.
That's so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
David's getting all carnal.
Yeah, what the hell?
And he's using the church to justify it. How many times have we heard that story? And Pam keeps questioning. Now she's starting to think, okay, I'm going to follow the rules, but I'm not going to follow him because I see that he is down a pathway that's not righteous, right? Yeah. And she knew that he was not of God. And she followed that knowing, and she genuinely considered the logic of God or the logic of Jesus in the Bible. And she just knew that it didn't reconcile with how he was. And when those things don't match up, when someone is telling you I'm a thing and they're not showing the thing, it's also in the Bible. It's called the fruits of the Spirit. If I tell you, T, I'm living on nothing. I'm eating out of the dumpster. Every paycheck I go is just going right into savings. We're living in a tent. We're not paying rent. We're not paying for food. We're not spending any money. And a year later, and I'm working the whole time, right?
Okay.
And a year later, you're like, Elly, have you saved up enough yet to buy a houseboat or whatever you're saving for? I'm like, not yet. I don't have anything yet, but I'm doing the work. You're gonna go. Something in you is gonna go off. It goes, well, that just doesn't make any fucking sense.
There's math.
Yeah, there's math.
Yeah,
there's math behind that. Or it's the fruits of your labors, the fruits of your planning, the fruits of your saving, the fruits of your sacrifice should become evident at some point.
Yeah.
To others around you. They should see the fruit of what you're saying you're doing with your words. Like, you're just trusting me. Like, well, Ellie's living in a tent under the 580 freeway and says she's not spending any money. She's just putting all this money away. Like,
for a houseboat.
For a houseboat. She has been for years now. Like, surely at some point, no, just not yet. Like, what, bitch, what are you doing with that money? These are natural things, I think, to consider and intuit. And these natural, normal things are also in the Bible because they're normal and natural and are written by normal, natural men. But again, I'm not going to go off on that. So she took each thought one by one. She rooted it out of the earth. She examined it. She tossed out the weeds. And guess what? There was a lot of it. And at this point, this is why I'm like really fist bumping in the air. Like, root it out, let's throw it out. And now there's like nothing that can stop her because she's on like a mission. No. Like she's
done with it.
Each one, she's picking it up and looking at it and going, no, that can't be true.
Yeah.
And that's fucking powerful. To call a lie is so fucking powerful. And this like new determination was like born in her. So fucking cool. So this is when she decides, I'm leaving and I'm going to start making a way. She goes to Nevada. What does she do? What's the first thing she does?
She gets pine nuts. Birth control and pine nuts.
You think your rights and freedoms aren't directly tied to birth control? We've got male politicians today in this race that's going to take place 3 weeks from now. You got male politicians saying to women of all ages going, why are you guys worried about abortion? It doesn't affect you. You middle-aged women that can't have kids anymore, what do you care? Because they're gaslighting you when they're telling you it's nothing to worry about. And these bootlicking women that like jump on that train and want to be like one of the guys and also are voting against themselves because of birth control and the big A, you know what I'm talking about?
Assholes.
Abortion. She began plotting, and the first thing was birth control. And this is not a coincidence. It's fucking powerful shit. So she convinced him into vacay.
He's a dumbass. I just need a vacay. Couple days.
She found $5 and 2 credit cards with her name. This is just like wild to me.
And she didn't know what credit cards were.
She had no idea.
I know this does something.
And this whole...
oh my God, the whole thing. I was shaking in my boots. I had no idea what was going to happen.
The sky.
You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen.
The first time I heard it, though, I didn't know. Because when
Did you do a pre-interview?
We do. And so I knew like kind of the broad strokes of her story, but I didn't know this like play-by-play of like
the whole
like something
thing.
out of a movie. It's
it
like
was
Argo or something.
I know.
Like it should be a movie. It's
really
so, like
should.
on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to make it or not?
And she like, yeah.
And it starts with, I'm leaving God, take my life. Meaning, I'm going to step over this threshold. If what I'm doing is wrong, strike me dead now. Guess what?
You're not going to do it.
Doesn't happen. Guess what? He didn't smite her. They left in 2 vehicles. Now, we have to talk about something.
Okay.
Quick.
Yeah.
She's got these 2 adultish sons. They're 16 and 13.
Yeah.
When I did the pre-interview with her, this resonated with me when we talked about this, that she had these 2 boys really of age, especially in reference to this church, this cult. They were of age to defy her. They were of age to have a belief system of their own. They could have easily said, oh, you stupid woman.
They could.
You're our mother and we love you, but you go and take the little ones, but we're going to stay behind and like
they could do the
capture our birthright and be our prophet self.
They're LeBarons.
Yeah, the fact that they followed her willingly is just, it's a true testament to what a wonderful and badass mother and person she was, that she didn't even have to convince them to come, that they just willingly came with her. And her and I talked about that. And I said, they didn't resist at all. Like, it was just automatic. Like, they trusted you. She's like, yeah, it's just automatic. And I was like, wow, that's cool. That was so cool. Because they could have easily rejected.
Because as boys, too, they have the power.
They knew they had the power. They could have easily stayed behind.
But they knew. And it wasn't like she was over here brainwashing them. Yeah. Or, like, trying to convince them for a really long time that, like, it wasn't true or anything.
Yeah. And
They 9 kids didn't get, I don't know, they get brainwashed enough to stay.
I think that's a testament to how cool a mom she was. And then this scene of escape is so intense. It's like The Sound of Music, and they're like in the cemetery of the Neri, and like the Nazis are looking for them, and they have to march across the mountains into France. Or
there's like all these logistics.
Yeah, it was very much like The Sound of Music. Don't you think? You know, it's got 1 woman, 7 kids in a car. She's got 2 boys in a car.
There's a baby in the first van, and
she is so just logistical and strategic, and just really thinking through every bit and telling your kids exactly what they need to know. Memorize this, do this, be here then, wait for me here. I'm gonna park you. I'm gonna park you here. I'm going to breastfeed you. I'm going to walk you in the van. I'm going to walk back across the border. I'm going to come back. This is intense. Like,
and they're trusting her.
Yeah, they completely believe in her. What do you think was going through her mind? Like this.
I mean, I have no idea. It must be sheer panic.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're feeding your baby. I don't know how long it's going to be. You're closing them in.
What if she would have got detained at the border?
I know. Because how would the second van find the first van? Because the first van,
only she knows where they are.
Yeah, in the first van, nobody can drive.
Just total trust that it's going to work out.
And then she doesn't even know that she's going to find the second van, the 16-year-old, 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And she finds it.
And it's like,
fuck. And it's like, I thought, great. Yeah. You know, we're going to make it.
And then you got this border guard walking in going, you're up to something.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Same fucking guy.
And I thought it was weird that the story didn't really like finish that off completely, because he was like, you're up to something. And the other guy's like,
you know what?
okay, go on.
You're good. I'm sure the listeners know, but she is blonde, white.
She's white, she's blonde, she's tall. She looks Scandinavian, actually.
Does she?
Yeah. You can see the pictures.
Oh, okay.
If you're curious as to what she looks like, go to This Is Actually Happening Instagram. There are pictures over there.
But yeah, the way she described it, it's like, it's such a weird feeling.
But it's like, you'd think, okay, that would set her apart as like privileged, but really she probably is like sticking out like a sore thumb. Like, especially if she's,
well, she had
like, she's a
7
pretty
kids
blonde
first
woman.
cover.
Yeah, he's going to
And then it was
notice.
again. God, that one moment though, I was like, oh, shit's going down.
The relief then of getting through with her last 2 children, getting
And then
back to
even
that
getting
van.
back to the van. Her sweaty little kids. Oh my God.
I love it.
And they were all reunited, and I just like, I think I wasn't breathing that entire
It
time.
was so intense.
But it's just
Oh,
amazing.
she does so much more. This
It's amazing because it's not just the escape.
no,
like, it's
she's,
like-
now she's got to build this whole life.
Yeah.
She drives all the way to Sandy, Utah. She's got a girlfriend there that welcomes her, and Pamela's just cool as fuck, man. She sources a home. She sources mattresses. She sources food. I mean, in the face of making a way where there is no way, like, she is the mother of that.
9 kids.
And everything is new to her. Like, she can't even read.
Mm-hmm.
She saves all her junk mail. I think it's just so adorable.
She's like, oh my God. It's like, I didn't realize.
For
it was
me.
junk. Yeah.
Her poor oldest kids have to do drywall, but they willingly do it for her. They bring home the rent. And she has all her kids in school, and this is just such a proud moment for her. And she realizes she has 0 way to get a job, but one thing she fucking knows how to do is clean houses.
Yep.
And she starts with what she knows. And her kids are straight F students. And
All
what
Fs.
does she do? She sits them down and she's like, okay, this could be better. Why don't we go for 1D?
I love that. I love that. I love that.
I think it's a message to all of us.
It
Like,
really
if you
is.
feel like you have like insurmountable adversity in your life in front of you, pick one little thing you can do.
And then celebrate.
Increase from an F to a D.
1D.
One
You
D.
can have
You can have 5 Fs and
and
1D.
and I'll be so proud of you.
And then make another goal and get your second D. Before you know it, you're
Little
going to have
steps.
a few Cs.
And then
Maybe an A.
they got all 8 years.
Uh-huh.
I love that.
I loved it too. Then they moved to Minnesota. Kids improved. Wildly enough, this house cleaning was like second nature to her. Wish I had that.
Yeah.
She is rejected by other Mormons, including her own sister for a time.
Mm-hmm.
But she
Well, that's
never
good.
she never stops looking for the truth. That's
Yeah.
always in her. And her mom gets to come be with her at the end of her life and be with her children. And I think this is so important. I get to be with my grandma the last year of her life. And it's weird because while it was happening, I was like, oh my God, I'm living in a hellhole with no end. But I look back on it now and I'm so
Yeah.
thankful that I got
Yeah,
to
that
have that
time.
time. So anyway, she literally found the American dream. You want to know where it is? It's in a dumb cult in Mexico and escaping and like using your house cleaning skills to become a millionaire. That's what it is. Good for her. She became a millionaire by 2016. What are you doing with your time, T?
Not being a millionaire.
She's got 9 kids. You only have 3.
I only have 3. What am I
You don't even have a boat. She sees success in her kids. She raised them to be little entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And her legacy is that she sent these amazing kids out into the world to be influences in their own spheres. And now women are following her lead, and she helps others escape. And she said she was just determined to help anyone who called her. And she started reading. This is part 2 of My Heart. Part 1 is birth control. Part 2, freedom, is reading, literacy, critical thinking. You don't have to get a PhD. Reading expands your mind. Birth control, reading. Just read. If you don't have anything else, go get a free library card. Read. I used to be a reader. Now I just read Reddit and talk about Reddit all the time. And she's in constant gratitude. She felt really lucky that she got to have the life that she has. And she never feared because she knew that it was lies. She was told to do, what to think, what to be, what to look at, what to wear, everything. They controlled her whole life, but they could never take away her imagination. Boom.
Amazing.
She's just a badass, right?
Total badass.
Yeah, I loved this episode so much.
Very inspiring.
Anything else, Steve?
That's it for me.
Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of Trauma Bonded. You can find our show where podcasts are kept. Please rate and review us. Thanks to Pamela for sharing their story and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. And thanks to This Actually Happening team, including Whit, Missildine, and Andrew Waite, the maker of our music and website, Nathaniel Trombolia. Thanks to Cathy Sites for editing this episode, and Katie Cable for building those last Instagram posts. Please subscribe to us at all the places. We are trauma bonded to the story, to the storytellers, to the listeners, and to each other. Thanks for spending time with us today. Love you, T.
Love you, Elly. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Trauma bonded.